Welcome back to Urst Meets World. Back with my friend Mike. We're going to dive in for another episode. It's been a few weeks, and I'm sure he's remembered everything about how to play this game.
Oh, yes.
So, all right,
Nothing has escaped my steel trap of a mind.
this time it's Histories of Greed and Toil. So go ahead and click Continue Active Game.
I'm glad you reminded me. I had forgotten how to load it. And now I believe I click this, and then I do the active save.
Yep, you're in
If I
late
remember
summer.
correctly.
So you're only 2 seasons in. You start in mid early spring, and so you're at late summer. We do need to make sure we get up a trade depot right away because come fall the dwarves will show up to trade with you,
Okay,
and you currently
excellent.
have nothing to sell them. But we could set up. You have a craft shop, so we can maybe start having them make some trinkets that we can sell for food or other goods.
I'm so happy we're back to this. I really have missed this because it just makes me Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wait,
you
no.
have a trade depot. I couldn't
I
remember you did. So you
We
good?
did. That's right, because we built the walls, right?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
Now we left a place for a door, so we put a door where that is. And did
Okay.
we finish the bottom of the wall, or did you just designate it to be built?
I didn't even do that. I was like, leave this
Eh,
crap open.
It's fine, and I like the wood look. It's all
Ah,
good.
very pretty.
And as I recall, at the very end, you had slaughtered an animal, so that was good too. So we got some extra meat. It
It's,
now shows you with some meat.
it's always good. Yep, I'm seeing the meats up there. I've got the seeds for sure. Of course, food. Yeah, right up at the top, and then
Yep.
followed by drink. Way to go, guys.
All right. So, what do you want to do first? You want to dig out some stuff first? You want to finish your wall? Actually, no. What I want you to do is cut down that stupid tree that'll be in the way of your wall. So, cut that down
This little
first.
doodad over here.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. It's
Almost.
okay. It's
There
this
you
thing,
go.
the tree chopping. So I'm getting there. Okay, then I click Yonda Tuda, and oh God, that's right. Okay, here it
There you go.
is. And all I'm doing, I'm hitting pause while I'm hitting space.
Hitting space.
Let's watch those sons of guns come. All right,
All right.
come on, guys.
You didn't hit space. Still paused.
Oh boy, where's
Oh,
my?
you know what? It might still be. Yeah, there you go. There it goes. See, so it's blinking. So that means someone's on their
Yes,
way.
great.
Chop, chop,
Yes,
chop.
look at him. Now, I maybe this is because this is full screen, but I'd swear the graphics even look a little prettier. Or maybe I'm just. I bet you I'm zoomed in. How do I do that, by the way? How do I zoom in and out? I forget.
So the square brackets, right above like the enter key, so you can zoom in
Yes.
or out, which is pretty
Yes.
handy
Here
depending on
we
what you're
are.
doing, and now you can
Yep.
see everything. So
Little
you
crack
can hit
cocaine dwarf going up
you can hit escape because it's still waiting for you to designate more trees. It's like it's little
there.
dots. So
Got
now
it.
you're back to
Okay.
normal. Now why don't you
Excellent.
jump down a few layers and let's see what else we have to do underground. I'd pause it though, just for a minute.
All right.
Good.
I love That's awesome. The salmon. Oh, okay.
So you can set up traps to catch them later on. It's a little more tricky to catch the
I want
river
fish
animals,
meat.
but it's cool. There's
I'm
there are stories of people actually having like whales swim in and they will like close them off, drain the water to kill the whale, and then you have like meat forever. And
Oh
you can
my
make
gosh.
and you can keep all the fat, render that down, and make whale soap. And then you can sell the whale soap. You could be like this like boutique soap salesman of blue whale soap, which I think is nice.
Oh yeah, no, it's my aspiration professionally.
They actually did have to reduce the value of unicorn bones and goods because people were ranching unicorns, killing them to sell unicorn bone crafts at high levels, and they felt that was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, something goes against the very point of a unicorn there. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that it's not right. And also, I love ranching unicorns. First off, that sounds like a Silicon Valley.
It's the name of my
Okay,
new startup, basically Unicorn Ranch, making high quality soap out of mythical creatures.
that's,
S-
I'm going to invest all of my Bitcoin in that right now.
All right, so this was your first level. You set up your
Yes,
farms; those should be running as they are, just fine.
they
And then
seem
you went,
good.
and then you went down a few more layers, down into stone. So why
Yep,
don't you go down a few
that's right.
more?
And
Let's
by the
see
way,
where we were.
I went the wrong way. I really do think the graphics got nicer. Like the dwarves seem a little more detailed to me. But
No, no, you're just getting more used to Dwarf Fortress, where suddenly garbage graphics start looking really nice.
they really do. I haven't played a game in so long, John. All right, so I've got my okay. I remember this, right?
So
So this
they've
is
they've cleaned a lot of stone out, so your stone
yep,
stockpile is set up. You've got your
excellent.
others pile over there.
Yep,
You've got looks like a mechanic workshop. You've got a craft workshop built in, so those are
yeah,
good.
okay,
So we're doing pretty good there.
yep,
Um, I think it's time for you to start either digging out a. We were going to have a hall, a proper hall for you to set up a real dining hall. We got to do that.
yes, right,
We probably need a proper dormitory at least, or some bedrooms, however you
yeah,
want to handle that.
yeah.
Um, and did we start making stone crafts at all? I don't
I
think we
don't
did.
think
I
we did.
think we
No,
just hauled some
we
stuff
mined it.
downstairs.
Yeah, right.
So if you want to go over to your craft door first, because we could get the setup so we're ready for the traders. A little down to the left. There you go. Click
Okay,
on him.
right.
Add new task.
Okay.
And under rock,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
you'll see all things that he can make out of rock. You see rock crafts. Now, if you make rock crafts, you passed it. It's right above
Oh
die.
god. Oh god. There's so many of them. Here
It's
we
in
are.
alphabetical order. Now, rock crafts will make 3 random crafts: rings, crowns, scepters, that sort of thing. You can name them specifically, or else this will just make random stuff. So you
Yeah.
could
I
set.
do. Does one of them sell for higher or than the
They're
others, or are they all
they're
equal?
pretty much the same thing. If you want to maximize money for like stone crafts, you should actually make mugs because you get 3 mugs that are each worth 10 dwarf bucks each times the material, which starts as 1, and then as they get higher quality, you get more dwarf bucks. Which
Okay.
there's no real currency. They're like suns, so you call them dwarf bucks, and the value you'll understand when we get to trading. So why don't you set a few more of those just so we have some more crafts to sell?
Okay. So I'm just gonna pick some random ones here.
Yes, since they have
Um,
crafts, they also have like crown, earrings, figurines, etc. Just saying crafts, they will randomly make stuff. But if you just want to make bracelets, you can just do that. If you just want to make later on, you might have nobles who demand certain things or like
mhm.
them. You're like, oh, I got a noble who likes crowns, and he'll put on like 7 crowns, and he'll wear them all stacked on top of the other, looking like an idiot and feeling
Well,
proud as anything.
I'm glad we're building a dwarf fortress for Liberace.
That's
That's
what we're doing.
fantastic. All right, so right now I've got the rock crafts in the task here, but
Yes.
only one of them.
Right there, they're just
So
going to do it once. If
yeah,
you want
okay.
them just to keep doing that, you can hit the recycle button there, and they'll
Which I
keep.
do for now, right? I was worried about forgetting it the last time, but this time around, I might as well just let them do
I
it for
think
a
we
while,
could set
right?
it for now because you're going
Yeah.
to do some more mining to make some more rocks anyway. So let's set that, and
Okay.
then let's set up our miners to dig out some more rooms because they'll make more stones anyway.
All right. All right, guys. Let's lay out. Okay. Okay.
Nope, all the way
There it
left
is.
mining.
There it is. Digging orders.
No, I meant there, right there.
Digging. Yep. Excellent. Yes. Okay. So, okay. Yes. Nope. I'm with it. Is there, how do you do this? I mean, you and I just had a conversation the other day about how you did not do it in the game. You actually sketched out on graph paper the sort of
Well,
fortress that you wanted. And
well,
I was
yeah,
inspired by
I
that
graph it all out as I do.
by
Um,
hand. So I
this is
respect that.
this is actually I have this was what the confused genius base is supposed to look like with my that's what the dining room will eventually look like. So that's how I do that. And then for anyone who watched the last episode, I actually hit a cavern, which means my perfect fortress will not be as I sketched. I have to redo the whole thing. And
The whole thing.
no, no, I have to
You
reroute
totally
magma. It's
love graph.
fine. I'm angry, but it's fine. So here's what I think
Yeah.
about it, is that
I'd love
you're
to hear your input here.
you're
So,
gonna have people who enter your fort, right? And so
mhm,
I always like to have an entrance that I want people to go through certain things when they enter. I want to have the ability to close off the entrance. I want to have the ability to have some sort of military greet an enemy if they're trying to come through the entrance.
makes sense. Yep.
And then after that, I want things generally centrally located. Everyone's going to hang out in a dining room when they're not doing anything, and they're
Hmm.
going to hang out in a temple when they're not doing anything. I don't want them to have to walk all the way across the map to get a sandwich, and then all the way back to the other side to say a prayer, and then all the way to the other side again to do their crafting. So you try to figure out how to do that. The most efficient way from a time standpoint is to build vertically.
Hmm.
So
Right.
so
So
you
you like
have
a column with easy
yeah. So so
access to those things off.
so you may say,
Okay.
hey, I have a level for residence, I have a level for crafting, I have a level for eating, I have a level for so you can make these levels, but aesthetically, it's hard to keep track of all that, and I don't think
Yeah.
it flows as nicely. So right now, your entrance is ugly. You've got You
The hell you
your
say?
guys are coming down one set of stairs, walking through a dirt thing, and then coming down these 4 stairs.
Yeah,
I think that's perfectly fine to start, but we should start thinking about how we want to dig north, and then maybe ramp back up to the surface to
yeah,
make a more proper entrance.
yeah.
So what I
Okay.
would do is probably from you have that center room here that's nothing
Yeah,
is in right now. I would dig a 2 wide hallway north, and I would go up like 40 blocks, and that'll be now your new main thoroughfare
yeah.
in.
I
And we'll
like that.
dig down to that from the surface later on. And then we can close off your walled area, and that could just be a safe pen for animals.
I
Yeah, so just like
like
that.
that. Yep.
Stop perfect.
Okay.
Now that's your entrance hallway. We'll figure out how to dig down to that in a minute. They can walk all the way back to your crafting area back here, which is great.
Yep.
But somewhere in the middle there, you probably want to have a large dining room. So go to the
Yeah.
go near the top of that, and let's carve out a large, say, 10 by 12 room, something like that, that we can make into a real dining hall that we
So we
can
can
put
have it
lots of.
over here. Well, actually, I'll put it over here. How about
Sure.
that? Yeah. All right. I think this. I feel like this is a good size, right? This is pretty solid.
I
Now,
that's
it
huge, fine,
yeah,
and perfectly fine. Because it'll hold everybody, right? So you can make one big dining room, and all of your
exactly.
lazy dwarves
It's a
can
mess
chill
hall.
out. Yep. So do that,
Okay.
and so they'll start digging that out. And then on the other side, why don't you make another smaller room? And I would give it a door or two. So you don't need doors. You and I have had this discussion. You don't need doors. The
Yeah,
ben-
but they're nice to have, though, especially if they like the ornate design of the door, right?
yes, actually, that's the thing is that if
Yep.
it's a really nice door, they'll walk past and go, man, that was a beautiful door. Do you see
It's
that
like,
door I walked through?
in fairness, I do the same.
And then from a FPS standpoint, frames per second, speeding up the game, the more dwarves see, the more processing there is. If they're behind a closed door and they can't see what's going on in the hallway, they're not thinking, should I interact with that thing? So it reduces the amount of processing that the game needs to do. That's very like, metagaming kind of thing. So
I
which I
can't
don't get
believe
into
it's actually
much.
true. My
But
God.
but but that's how, they have to keep track of all the things they're seeing and
Yeah.
processing if they have
But
to
when you
react
have like
interact with it.
10,000 dwarves, of course, yes, that makes sense.
That's where you get
I,
in trouble.
what do I have? Five, eight?
You
Okay.
got 15 dwarves, but
Yes, I do. Yeah.
some of them are kids and disposable, but they'll grow up eventually.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And we can put them to work now, right? But it's like the worst
Yeah.
work in the world or something.
No, they can
Okay.
haul rocks.
Yeah.
So while you're at it, I would just dig a smaller room, make it like 6 by 6, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're gonna put beds in there and designate a proper dormitory for people to sleep in.
All right. So we
So
want the dorms. We don't want to start off by doing individual rooms then, because I guess they all need someplace
we're
to
gonna
sleep for now.
Yeah, we're gonna want to build them nice rooms. Everyone gets a bedroom. But
Okay.
for now, while you're still building that first year, just having a dorm room for them to sleep in makes you don't have negative thoughts. Otherwise, they'll be like, I slept on a dirt floor, or I didn't sleep in a proper bed, and I'm miserable. It's been 9 months. Why does my keeper hate me? And we don't want that.
Yeah. This isn't. What was it? Dungeon Master? Was that what
Y-
you had
y-
years and years ago? That would be the reverse of this.
right. So if you unpause now, they'll start digging this out, and we could do that.
Now, do I want not that it's really for FPS, but do I want to have just like a door space here in advance, or does it matter at this point?
Well,
Like, should I
sure.
narrow this down a little bit
Yeah,
so we
let's
can?
do that. So click the eraser, which is over.
Oh,
Click that. Yep.
it's this guy. Yeah. All
Yep.
right.
And now why don't you get rid of that. Get rid of
Two
two
on
on
this
top.
side, two on
Yep.
that side, and
Exactly. You get and
okay.
actually 2 by 2 doors are great. They're wide, they allow a lot of traffic through. You can put doors next to each other.
So I was thinking
And
in and out. Yep.
yep.
Okay.
And if
Cool.
you want, you could do the same thing for your tavern, for your big dining room.
Yeah. See, I
And
like that.
and you could have like 3 or 4 doors. So
Yes. Oh, that's
now
awesome.
and if you want to get really fancy, you can also just remove the corner blocks, and now you start getting some nicer like design look to it.
Yeah, I like that. And I screwed that right up. Hold on. Did I screw it? Yeah, I did screw it up. Hold on. Go back. Oh God.
Oh,
Oh Lord. Okay, there we are. Okay, here we go.
there you
All
go.
right.
Now you have some nice entryways there. That'd be great.
I like that. Yes. Okay. Very cool. And it's a nice flow. All right, we're getting somewhere, man.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna unpause. Wish me luck.
Unpause. So because they gotta start working on that. Now, while they start digging out, we had built that mechanics workshop down at the bottom
Yes.
there. Click on that.
Mhm. Oh God. Hold on.
Don't mind it. There you go.
I-
Okay.
this thing would be burned down if it were just me playing this.
So we need a couple mechanisms. So click add task, make rock
Okay.
mechanism. Why don't you just click that a few times, or else we could make an order for it too, if you want to do that as well.
Yes. No,
All
we'll
right.
just it's fine. We'll just do a couple. This is gonna be easier.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That look good? Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Because what we're going to want to build a switch and a bridge that we can close down access to our fort with, because you can make mechanisms allow you to connect levers to bridges and floodgates. And they're basically a wireless connection using the dwarven magic of mechanisms. No one understands how they work, but as you have a mechanism on each end, it quantumly connects them to
Oh
activate.
God. Yes, I'm sure it quantum connects them. I'm sure it does. And you know what? There is a chance that that's true because of how much time and effort they put into this damn game. Nothing is so unlikely as to be zero. All right. So we've got mechanisms, then you do the levers
So
and that stuff, then you
yeah.
do the actual bridges.
Yep.
Like that's kind
So
of okay.
yeah. Okay. So it looks like they're making really great progress digging this out.
Yeah,
You've
they're
made a couple
moving quick.
mechanisms, so
It's all
that's
those
really good.
kids.
Kids work hard hauling that rock, and they're
Damn
even
right.
clearing it out pretty fast, which is nice too.
Well done, kids.
Let's take a look at your active work orders. Did we have them making beds, or we just made a couple beds when we started?
I think we just made a couple beds when we started. Yeah,
All
no, we
right.
don't have anything.
So why
Right.
don't you
Yeah.
let's make a new order here.
Okay.
Just type bed.
Oh,
Uh,
oh
uh,
God.
what
Oh
did you
God.
do?
Oh
You
no. Hold on. Ah,
there you go.
okay.
Okay.
I've recovered.
Try
I'm
again.
going back to work order. I got to
Okay.
get these hotkeys down. I like those hotkeys. Okay, here we are.
Click now.
Bed.
Bed. Okay.
Make bed. See, that is the sort of simplicity that I can handle.
Okay. Why don't you drop that down to something like 3?
Okay.
Other one.
Oh, right. Darn.
Okay. And then let's go to the greater than less than sign all the way to the right, the green greater than less than sign. We want to
Okay.
make this amount of beds, click plus to that, and let's make that 5.
All right.
And then
Available
logs,
less than 5. Okay.
and then drop that down. And then click the logs, so you can leave that at 10 still. That just make sure they don't empty all your logs out making beds.
Okay.
So click the plus there, and now you're good. So now they're always going to keep at
Yes.
least 5 beds in stock. So we'll be able to stock the dorm room real quick. And then as we start building bedrooms, you'll have beds to place in them.
Because they're available beds. Got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
exactly.
Yep.
Okay,
Excellent.
so right click out of that. And all right, so they're digging that out. Looking good. Looking real good.
Now, yeah,
we probably made more of those stone blocks by now. So if you want to jump to the surface and close off your wall, you can do that while they finish digging out.
Okay. Oh, no, I've gone. Oh, boy. Oh, goodness. Yes, here we are. Okay, great. Oh, okay, here we are.
So cool. All right. Remember how to build a wall?
You what?
There.
Okay.
Yep.
Here it is. Okay.
Constructions.
Instructions. Wall. Yes. Okay. So now do you leave?
Run it to there. No, I just close it off. You only want one entrance.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh.
Just draw it.
That would be an impressive wall. Hadrian's wall right there.
Okay. So see, microcline blocks at the very bottom.
Yep.
No. The blocks. Yep. You can click the all button because you just want to use all amount of microcline blocks.
Yeah, I'm not using them for anything else, right? Okay, is there a logic to having thicker walls for some reason, or does that really matter?
So, the only reason
am I going to get attacked and the thickness of the wall matters?
No. So in the current game, walls can't be broken. Okay, so constructions cannot be broken, which is they can be burned if they're wood, but that's your only real risk there. The one benefit to a thicker wall, though, is that the tops of the walls are a platform you can stand on. So if you build too wide on the bottom, you could then go one more tall on the outside along the top, you can even make it with fortifications, which allow your archers to shoot through. So you could actually make it so you could patrol the walls.
Yeah, I mean,
and
actually,
shoot out.
I kind of like
and there's
I know we don't need
benefit
that
to
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
All right.
did
Now,
we
why
set
did
up
I make these wood?
because you ran out of material and you just picked 2
Oh,
logs. Now,
that's right.
do you want to
I do.
deconstruct those?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Click on your mining actually, the mining tool,
Okay.
and then over to the all the way to the right, right there it says designate
This
no,
guy.
right that one. Yep.
Okay.
Designate constructions. And if you just highlight over those two and
All
click,
right.
they will now come and remove those, and then you can replace those with microcline and make it pretty.
See you later, boys.
You
Oh,
actually
wait.
just repaused, but
I
it's okay.
did. I was so proud. See you later, boys. Pause. Much later. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. This is kind of cool. Now, is
Yeah.
this like this is not Picasso? Well, actually, it's a bad example. This is not Michelangelo.
No.
However, does this like entry on both sides make sense? This like ingress egress sort of thing I've got going on here.
Well, I mean,
It's simple.
what you set up here is not bad. If you think you're going to be going out to do like to grab lumber on both north and south, you're saving your guys walking all the way around, and
Yep.
that's perfectly fine. Okay, if you want to build the rest of that wall, you could do that, and then
Okay.
what we could do is we can actually build you some bridges. You can actually close up in case of siege.
Okie dokie. Do I have none? No, I have.
No, just click one more. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, excellent. Yes. Okay, let's do the bridges, man.
Okay, let's again go to that construction where you
Okay.
were had the walls.
My doodad. All
No,
right.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
no. This
there.
doodad.
Yep,
Excellent.
construction.
That doodad. And
Now
this
look
doodad.
for bridge down.
For the record, not in alphabetical order.
You're
So,
right.
just saying, John, I was
It's
waiting
in
for this moment.
it's it's an order of
Although
obvious
everything else
use. No.
but it's a different logic. Okay. It's a different highway. Friendo.
BCW. Yeah, I know. So so before you touch anything, it's important with bridges to look at the top right. Actually, hit pause first, just so we don't lose a whole lot of time on this. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, hey. This is good news. Read that.
They're coming. Okay. Their eyes are alight with the anticipation of inspecting the splendid products of your industry's craft dwarves. Careful stock of your own stores. Yes. Difference between a prosperous future and a slow and meaningless Okay.
They're not wrong.
No. Far be it for me to disagree. Now, when I'm paused, though, they're not going to be like everything paused. Right?
Well,
So
you're not paused right now, so I'd hit spacebar right now.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm paused. So when I'm paused, they pause, though, right? I pause, they pause.
When you pause the game, the whole game is paused. So everything
Good.
runs on ticks, where every tick it figures out what every gun's going to do in the next step, and then everyone takes the next step, and then it recalculates the next step for every player. Which is why, as population goes up, a tick takes a longer time to do, and that's where your FPS is. So let's.
I respect what you said.
Okay. So when building a bridge,
Yeah.
at top right, you see set the bridge direction to set it which way you want it to raise up. So it will you'll be able to draw a bridge as big as you want. We're just going to make it 2x1, just a small little bridge that we can raise up to close the wall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's do the bottom one first. You're going to want that to raise towards the north. So click on the arrow up.
Okay, I understand. Got it. All right,
Okay.
so it's actually I want this.
You want that exactly.
Yeah.
Now, yep, click there and go like one block down.
Okay.
And click. Now, what to make it out of, we'll make it a microcline because that's what we're building our fortress out of. So
Gotcha.
they're now going to build that little bridge. We can do the same thing on the other side, except for this time, let's go to construction bridge, and you want it to raise to the south.
Okay. Bridge, where are you at, bridge? There you at. Okay, and I want it this time to go yonder, right?
Yeah, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's kind of...
Hit the W. There you go.
Yep.
No,
No, that doesn't work. Yep.
No, draw up. Draw up.
Oh, God.
I'm fighting that like SNL move.
I can hear it, and it's absolutely cracking me up. Okay, so I would want it this way, wouldn't I?
No.
No,
You want it to Well, you
Hold
want
on,
to
hold
you want
on.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. And we're going out yonder.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. Yes.
Now, in theory, you can make it just a one by one, but by doing this, you'll be able to see very quickly if your bridges are down or up. But you could like make them a one by one, and they would just like raise up immediately. But again, I think this makes it easier to see. Oh, my bridges are down. I'm open to the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's do one more thing before we unpause. And I
Okay.
want you to go to again construction.
What the? What is? Why is this thing here?
We'll
Why is
click on
this?
that in a minute.
Okay. It was shiny, and I needed to look at it.
That's
Okay.
that's your diplomacy
So,
button,
um,
obviously.
yeah.
So I want you to go to go
In
to
alpha order.
machines/fluids
Okay. Because
and
those could.
and
Okay.
go to lever or lever.
It's there. You are. I actually do call it lever, and I suppose I mean they're both correct. Anyway. All
I
right.
feel like lever is when you lift something with a long like pivot
Yes.
point, and a
Yeah.
lever is a
That's right.
thing you throw.
A small.
There
Yeah. Uh huh.
now. Let's just place this somewhere on the surface up here, maybe near your hatch there.
Okay.
Just so you know where it is. It's just you just go place it anywhere. It's like a piece of furniture.
It's that
Put it
doesn't feel right.
put it near your stairs though, because you don't want people to get up to it.
Okay.
Inside the wall.
All right. Okay. Where are my stairs actually? Why am I they're here,
It's
right?
a very
Where's
no, it's that top little latch, the hatch thing to the right or the
yeah,
left.
there it
Right there,
is.
right there. Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Yep.
And here's the mechanisms you made. So just pick one. It doesn't really matter.
Quantum mechanism. Okay, so well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is
There is the difference right now is only material, and the
yeah.
material only matters when we start making. Well, if we have to make magma safe um, mechanisms, then we'll need to use specific stones that won't melt from magma. But for your purposes here, it doesn't matter, so we didn't worry about it
Yeah,
yet.
we're on top regardless. Okay. So I have now placed the lever right here.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Now let's click on that diplomacy thing and see what this is about.
It's so shiny, John.
So
Too long. Outpost liaison. Oshrir. Yeah. Okay. I am your liaison for the mountain homes. All right. So the mountain homes then are the other dwarf settlement.
yes, that is your civilization. The king has sent off along with the traders. He sends his liaison to see how you're doing in expanding the kingdom.
Okay.
And what he's going to want to know is one, he will carry back information about how good you're doing, how valuable your settlement is,
Okay.
and the more
Highly
every time he sees your settlement, he updates civilization on how you're doing, and more dwarves may move to your location if they think you're doing well. So if you're
okay.
mining gold like crazy, he's like they're rich as anything, and dwarves will flock to your civilization.
Which
If
I
he
don't
shows up and
actually
says
want right now.
they're all starving to death, they'll be like, ah.
Why do I keep losing my dwarves? Okay.
He'll also sometimes when you hit certain levels raise you to a barony or a county or a duchy, depending on again how much wealth you have, and then you'll have to name one of your dwarves to be the noble to lead the land here.
And
You don't have to
that's
worry
what
about
we
that.
should do before. Okay, good to know. But there is
So
like a magical king who's ruling over everything right now, and it's not me.
there is, and he's a real dwarf somewhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be a dwarf, but most likely a dwarf. And if he dies, sometimes you'll have to find that you wind up getting the king in your area very early because
That's what I'm saying.
his brother was one of your dwarves, and suddenly he's king, and then your new king will start complaining how this place is not fit for me as king, and he will bombard you with demands.
Well, he is the king after all.
And it's good to be the king. So, although generally we will then, if it's too early, you accidentally lower a bridge onto the king, and you say, "It's very sad we lost the king. He was doing a bridge inspection," as we say.
Yeah, it's always rough when they get accidentally crushed. All right, so I'm going to click OK here.
Like, okay,
All
so
right.
so first, what they do is now he actually updates. You have world information. We'll look at that later on. But when he comes, he updates your knowledge of the outside world. So then you can look at
Okay,
an updated map. So whenever every year when he comes, you get an updated map of what's going on with those civilizations. Awesome.
that's very
Click
cool.
OK.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
Now he wants to know, what do you want the caravan to bring next year?
Okay.
So
So, yeah, you know
here's
better than I
my recommendation is click on some leathers because leathers are they're you'll want a good bit of leather, and you only get one leather per animal, so you have to
Okay.
slaughter a lot of animals to get, and they sell them dirt cheap. So I would scroll down and I pick stuff like dog leather and cat leather because it's the cheapest. And material, don't give me that look. Material doesn't matter in terms of the capability. There it is. Say dog leather, cat leather. If you feel better, mule leather,
Yes.
donkey leather.
I'll take that. Horse leather, cow leather. Well, okay, that's leather. I'll take that. Are these
So
all the same level of cheapness? So it gets cheaper as you go further down?
no, it's really dependent on the value of animals. So like exotic animals are worth more. That's the real thing. Is like tiger leather is going to be 3 times more expensive than dog leather.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but
Are
it,
these expensive? Have
no,
I?
no, those are cheap. Those are perfect. I mean, but some people want to like role play, like all my dwarves wear chicken leather, and that's just what we do. We're known as the chicken men, and then we slaughter everyone, and they're embarrassed because they were killed by dwarves wearing chicken leather.
That's actually pretty awesome. I got killed by a dwarf wearing chicken leather. That sounds like a nightmare I've had.
So let's do the same thing for under cloth silk. So if you look over to
Okay.
the left, you'll see silk. Just click regular cave spider silk. The
Yeah.
giant cave spider silk is like way more expensive.
Yeah.
You have plenty of wood. Wouldn't worry about metal bars yet. You don't worry
Okay.
about gems. We'll dig those out. Don't worry about stone blocks. If you click on seeds, you
Yeah, I
can
was figuring
decide
because we
if
need
you
some
want to
more seeds, right?
if you want to order some more seeds. It's pretty cheap. So if you want to grab some more plump helmet spawn,
Just what I was thinking.
always
Okay.
handy. And I would grab some more pigtail seeds just in case too. So
Okay.
because that's what you'll make cloth out of.
I remember the plump helmet. I don't remember the pigtail.
Yep.
Okay. So I
All
don't
right.
need anvils, right? Because I've got anvils. Or
You've
do I not yet?
you've got an anvil. We brought an anvil with us, and once we have one metal guy set up, we'll be able to make more of those.
Got it. Okay.
Weapons, I wouldn't worry about. You'll make your own.
Yeah.
Same with training weapons. So I'd scroll down, and I start looking for stuff I think it's harder to get. Like I'll ask to go to pets.
Hmm.
So
Pets
here's where you
that
can.
don't skin and turn into leather. You
Well,
monster.
so
I
so
really
if
enjoy
you if you wanted some additional livestock, this is where they bring them, and generally it's pretty cheap to get them. Even if you do nothing but buy them and slaughter them immediately for meat, it's cheaper to buy them on the hoof than it is to buy the meat.
that. Oh my
So
god. You're not even talking about the game right now. You're
what's
just
true in real
talking about
life
your
is
daily.
true here. So
Well, I don't want a Drake, that's for sure. So
well,
I
actually,
noticed.
drakes are ducks. They're using the more so a drake is
Yes.
not
So it
a dragon.
actually is okay.
Yeah.
In the
So
fantasy game, Drake means duck. That makes sense. I'm just being
we strive
dramatic.
for realism in our dwarf game,
Yes, of
and so
course. I'm still waiting for the dragons to show up. All right, so dog male,
so
dog
so,
female. Do
so,
they
so
breed? Like, is
they
that
they
why
do
you would? Okay.
they do breed. So you do want to keep track of that. I think we have dogs. I would actually
Yes.
I think it's interesting for you to go and ask for like a couple peacocks or geese or ducks to vary some of your poultry because they'll be able to lay eggs. They can breed rather quickly, and then you
Yep.
can have a little poultry industry that helps feed all your dwarves and gives you delicious chicken leather they can chew on and then sew into armor.
Those chicken men. That was your thing, right? You were a chicken man. I'm just,
Actually,
I'm just
I
asking.
I prefer peacocks. As anyone who watched my video on best bird for the buck, the peacock is the winner. So
Best bird for the buck. That's great.
this is what I get for you not watching my channel, except for when we do this.
I really do need to. I need to keep up on the best bird for my buck. All right, so where in the hell
It's
is
right
the?
there. You missed it. Scroll down. This is blue peacock and blue
Oh,
peahen.
it's blue people. There it is. Yeah, where are you,
Keep
buddy?
going. There it is, right there.
Blue peahen, blue peacock. Okay,
There you go.
all
Grab a
right.
couple of those.
Okay,
All right.
it's
So
good.
we'll have those bring in, and then go to next item is drinks. Let's look at the drinks. If you want to just check some of those, they'll bring us some more alcohol. Never hurts to have some extra beer on hand.
Go. All right. I like to spend my money wisely. Now, what
Um,
about cheeses? Do we have cheese right now? I don't remember
so
making.
we have not made cheese. We can generally I would prefer to buy milk. So if you go to I think it's under extracts,
Okay.
and then we can make our own cheese for cheaper. So
Oh,
so
yeah.
so are you interested in the donkey milk cheese or the pig milk cheese? They're both delicious and nutritious.
Don't try to sell me on the pig milk cheese, John. I'm never going to buy into it. So wait, is there a particular? I mean, is there actually a difference
There's
aside
no
from the
difference other than name.
deliciousness? Okay,
There's no difference other than
it's
name.
all the same crap, and they're all the same price. None of them are
They're
cheaper
all
than
the
the
same
other.
price. So if you want to click cow milk, horse milk, and sheep milk, or if you want to be more, Americanized and just say cow milk and goat milk because that's how you feel
How
appropriate.
about water
That's
buffalo's milk? I like water
delicious.
buffalo's
And
milk.
yak
Yeah,
milk. Who doesn't want to go to yak milk?
reindeer milk, yak milk. All right, this is the one area I'm totally fine being adventurous.
Okay, good. So
Which is to say, I like water buffalo, reindeer, and yak milk.
so they'll bring us milk and next year when you buy it, you can turn it into cheese, which is a high value food for your dwarves,
Got it.
and you get to keep the barrel, which is a
Yes.
win.
Oh, see, look at you. Now, I don't really need meat and fish right now, right? Because I saw those fishes swimming around, and I feel like
We
we
can
should be able
and we can set up a Fisher dwarf here soon, and that's not a bad idea to do.
to. Okay.
So I wouldn't worry about that. In my mind, this is where you are for your first request. You
Hmm.
probably are asking for everything you really need. You still have a lot of work to do. No one's
Yeah.
starving to death. Actually, one thing you might want to go is go to miscellaneous.
Okay. Where's
Right
my?
there, yeah,
There
right
we
there.
are.
Okay, and I would check the lie.
Yeah,
Up
I
top.
remember we talked about this.
We've
Maybe it was like
we've
the first video or something, right?
we brought some lye. Lie's a pain in the butt to make, and you need it for soap.
Yeah.
But you need to set up multiple workshops and multiple jobs and make ash and process it, or you buy it dirt cheap off the market, and that's just the way to go. It's just one of those
There
things
it
that is
is.
not worth making.
I
You
lie
just buy it.
making brethren. Yeah.
So
That's totally fine by me.
so
Okay.
I think that's all you need. So so I would just go down and I would click done in the bottom corner.
I'm
So now,
ready.
so now they're saying, hey, we guarantee to bring these things, but you're going to pay twice as much for them because you asked for them. But
What?
but it's fine. We
Yeah.
will we will develop some sort of exploits to take advantage of the trader anyway. We'll rip
Thank you.
him off, and then he'll think he got a good deal.
Excellent. As long as I can really screw that dwarf, I'm fine.
That's the goal. Click
That's
OK. So now they're going to tell us next year if we have to sell them war hammers and crowns, they will pay us double for those.
okay.
Now, I don't know if we'll have those set up, but we can make rock crowns
Yeah, I don't see
easily.
why not, right?
So if we know instead of making standard crafts, we just change that to crowns. Next year, we could sell them bins and bins of rock crowns, and they'll pay double for those. So that's
Awesome.
something you keep track of.
Okay. Is there? I can't believe I'm going to say this. Is there like a notes section or like a calendar reminder that I can set for myself in the game? Because I will forget that immediately, and
You
I
know what?
don't want the next season to come around.
There is not, and that's actually it's between this and additional notes that go disappearing is an issue that the current version doesn't have. So that's why again you keep your notebook
Yep.
handy at all times.
Oh my god. I can't believe I asked that. And I can't believe it's actually a legitimate thing that they could add here. Okay, I'm going to forget that. So let me click OK. It's right out of my brain. I can tell you already.
Okay,
But I like the idea of it.
so now let's we know the traders are on their way in. So click
Yep.
on your trade depot before we unpause here.
Okay.
Nope, that's your
That's
wagon.
my wagon. Here it is. Trade Depot.
Okay,
Gotcha.
move goods to/from depot.
Okay.
And now so these are all the things we have for sale. If you go to bins,
Okay. Oop. I can tell in the background I've already accidentally screwed up my visibility.
and
Okay.
we can now see you have a couple items here like this finished goods bin.
Yeah,
Click
look at that. A
that has
thousand.
that has a 30 items in it. If you click on it, I think we can see what's in it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all your mugs and your scepters they made and some of the figurines they've made. So
Interesting.
click off this one, click on the other one. You had another finished bin because I don't want to sell your mugs accidentally.
Okay.
'Cause at the very bottom, you have another finished goods bin.
Okay.
That has
A
crutches,
crutch.
more mugs. No, you know what? Sell the first one as long as you got mugs left over. So
Yeah, I've
don't
got more
sell
than
this one.
no, because this one has ropes and all
Yeah,
sorts of stuff.
you don't want to sell that. So the
Okay.
one on top is one you want to sell.
All
So
right.
click the checkbox next to that, and they will haul that up there for them to sell
Yeah.
that. So that's all we're probably going to do this time around.
Yeah.
A not bad thing to sell is if you cut gems. Gems make a good thing. You only have rough gems, but you could cut those for next year. Mechanisms go for a good bit of money, I think, and they're just pretty easy to make. So
And
each
this
each
just came out of our workshop then. right? Because
Each
those are
mechanism
the
is worth
yes.
$40, so that's something you could sell. But I think we got the thousand dwarf bucks coming in from that one. So let's just let them bring the
Yes.
one bin up. We'll let the traders get set up, and then we'll visit them and see what we can buy. So
Okay. I'm
right
surprised we
click.
got weapons. I'm happy about that.
Well, we brought the pick and the axe we brought with us to cut down the trees. I don't think we should sell those just yet.
All right, I'm going to unpause. Right.
Unpause. Yep.
Come on, guys.
So now we're gonna have the guys. They're going to come up. They're going.
Look at them go. They're the
Oh,
little guys. They're
and you
going
can
to
see
my
the
depot.
traders coming in, and you got your
This is
guys building
super
the
exciting.
bridges. The bridges are
Yeah,
built. The
dude.
levers built.
Look at there's
So,
the guy. Look at
yep,
him.
and you can
It's
see what their
Nil
first.
Ditchmagooded.
Yep.
No, Nil Work Cutter. And I'm values commerce, slow to anger. Way to go, buddy. Unlike me. Single minded, good with language, good spatial sense, low stamina. Fat slobby guy. But okay. I'm with him.
So click on the trade depot
Okay.
and click broker requested at depot.
Okay.
Okay. And here he comes. It says he's going to come trade at depot. There he goes. He walked over there. And now that he's there, the trade button light lit up.
Okay.
Click back on the trade depot.
Yep. All right. I'm so fascinated by the guy. Okay.
And
So
click on the
lit up.
trade button. Yep. Now it pauses the game for you automatically. So on the left side, you see what they have to sell. On the right side, you see what we have to sell.
Okay.
And then at the bottom, you'll see merchants from the land, value, trader, profit. And it's kind of color coded, lets you know how he's feeling about the trade.
Got it.
So let's look to see what they have to sell. Kind of scroll down. Platinum bars, some blocks. We don't need any of that. We don't need fire clay.
Stones, chains. Do we need chains?
Not yet. We have some rope, so we're still okay there.
Okay.
At this point, you're really going to be looking for some food.
Yeah.
And
Flasks.
some beer.
What's Alice? I actually don't know what that is.
So they have these are procedurally generated instruments. Every world has its own instruments that are procedurally generated. So you can buy instruments for your temples, which we got to set up soon, by the way.
That is
for them to play music or to entertain people in your tavern.
Okay, got it.
So puzzle boxes and toys are for your child dwarfs, but do we want to entertain them? No.
No, they're going to be busy breaking rocks. Those kids are entertained enough.
So you can buy a female goose there. That's not bad. It's only worth 30 dwarf bucks. Like I said, 30 bucks pretty cheap. And then
I have cages right now? I mean, are they easy to build?
So
I imagine it just keeps all the livestock.
Wooden cages are easy. Metal cages require us to set up some metal stuff. We don't have that yet, which is another good reason to actually buy these animals, slaughter them, and hey, free cage. So
I see the value. Well done.
So actually, I would actually buy the goose and the turkey.
Yeah, I was going to say I really should do that. Okay. So we're doing it. Now, you said the review of the value here.
So look at the bottom right now. We've asked to buy 60 worth of stuff. Traders right now losing 6 because you haven't put anything else on the table on your side yet, and it's in orange because he's clearly not interested in just giving you this turkey for no good reason. But why don't you go to the other side, and why don't you just check like the crown, the scepter, earrings, a couple items over on the right
40,
side.
30. Okay, so if I said crown.
Okay, so now he has a loss of 46. Generally, he's going to want to double his money at first. Until you become a better trader, he's going to look to have a profit of probably 60 on his 60.
I mean, I don't care about earrings and crowns.
Exactly.
Right now,
these were easy to make. You're training up your guy. It doesn't cost you anything to give these things away, basically.
All right.
So,
I mean, fair enough. And they wanted the crowns anyway next season, so maybe this will be a nice way to. Okay, they know I've got rings and crowns and scepters.
And your craft dwarf is still learning because all your stuff is basic quality. So see how it's turned green now? Trader profit is green for you. So he feels comfortable with that trade. If you click trade right now, he'll make the deal, and you'll get those.
Look through any of these. I mean, I don't need more buckets, right? I don't need battle axes and
spears. So what I would do is he's happy. I'd click the trade button.
Good.
And then we'll make a separate trade. Yeah. So click trade.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Well, and the reason you want to do that is every time you make a trade, your dwarf gets trade experience. Yes. So doing several minimal trades is better than doing one big trade a year. Instead, he's like, oh, I did a bunch of negotiations, so I had a bunch of experience in negotiation. Like now you could again metagame this, be like trade 1 dwarf buck coins back and forth
Yeah,
and you can
if
set
you
up a
really have the time to
you,
that
you could
being the
you could
downside.
set up a macro where you buy and sell an arrow, back and forth, and you walk away for an hour, come back, and your guy is the most experienced negotiator in the world.
Well, actually, I could see that really being worth it. I mean, over time, it makes sense. Although probably more when you're small, because I imagine when you have like many
Well,
traders starting to trade, that's just going to happen
well,
naturally.
and later on in the game, you have so much stuff that generally I will just select all from the
Yeah, I was
trader.
going to say, so that's what this is for, right? When you
Yeah,
have
like
so much stuff, it doesn't want
you're like, yeah, looks good. Unload it, put it in the pile. Here,
to. Here's my shit pile from the trade depot.
exactly. And here's all our old clothes, and we're like, wow, 200 old socks.
Thank God, great deal. Now, is there ever a reason offering as a gift? Is that just a way to build up like good vibes between us
Yes.
and?
So part of the the merchants will be happier if they bring back more value than they came in with, right? And that also builds up um
Yes.
your reputation with the king and with the trader. So sometimes if I have garbage, I would like and I offer up these old thongs to the king, and they're like, we will make sure that he sees these, and your generosity is amazing.
And while I know you're talking about shoes, the image in my mind was very different.
I'm not. And
I will definitely make sure the king receives these.
make sure he
He's a
knows they're
weirdo.
from me. I want him to know.
Oh, he will.
Worn by the miners over many months of hard labor.
Smells like chicken leather.
That's how they know. So let's scroll down on the left here, and I want to look for
That's
the other things
great.
I think I want to make sure we get here. What I really want to look for is kind of the food area, because food is super cheap from the traders, and we can quickly cook it up into some lavish meals that
There's
our guys will like.
so much stuff here. How in God's name is there a way to like sum this stuff up or
So
categorize it better? Or,
yeah, sorta. So like you can search, right? So if you go up at the top and you type
yeah.
leather, then it'll only show you leather they have for sale, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So these are things in the both leather bags as
Like
well as scrolling.
food, it's not like food is a thing. So you have to
No, no,
it'd be like
but you could. But I often type like something like berry, BERR. Stop there. Actually, go back one because I think it's berries. And I'm like, okay, I want all that stuff.
yes.
That looks good.
I
So
mean,
then
I
I could just
actually do want all that stuff, don't I? I
yeah.
like berries.
So I would just check on the gray boxes, the don't to mark all. Just check where the gray band
Oh,
is.
I see. And it highlight. Okay.
There you
Gotcha.
go. Those look good. So why don't you go now offer him a couple other
Right.
scepters and stuff for
All right.
now you'll
Uh,
notice real quick on the right, you've got like several scepters here, right?
yep.
And some of them have a little dash in front of them. That means
Yes.
they're of fine quality. They're the next level quality up. So they're worth
That's why
14
they're
instead of
14.
10. And
Okay.
then there's several more gradations to eventually get like the sun icon where they're worth like 5 times as much. They'd be worth 50. So as your craft dwarf gets better making this stuff, the stuff goes up in value. So you again do better on trades there too.
So I'm gonna get rid of some of my crummy stuff.
That's what I do. I dump the garbage on the trader
Absolutely. I like the way you think.
because you can
He
make
gets
more mugs as now that your guy's getting better.
yeah. And as a matter of fact, I saw down here
Now you'll notice you're in green now, so you could probably trade for
18.
now.
Check this guy out. That's an
Yeah,
18 worth mug. Yes.
exactly.
Okay, here we are.
And you eventually want to keep the really good mugs because again, your dwarves will take a sip out of one and said, "Man, I drank out of a really nice mug," and
This
that
is
becomes a
deep.
happy thought.
All right, I'm trading, man. I'm trading.
Okay, so he was happy about that. You
Thank
got
you
to
for your
clear out the berries.
business.
Just hit backspace to get rid of that. Okay, so we can also look for something like I'll often search for like leave, yeah, like something like for like leaves, and now you can see okay maybe I want some again
Leaves and
quarry
fruit. Got it. Yep.
that kind of stuff. So capers, etc. So that's more food you can grab if you're interested in.
I am. My guys are
Uh,
hungry. They work
though
hard.
you're starting to run out of
I was gonna say
value here.
I'm almost done here, right? I'm not even sure. Even if I
So
did this, it's just
so here's what I would do. I would uncheck the query bush leaves,
yep.
just that one item there.
Those are the
Okay.
ones I wanted.
And
Yeah,
now I would just give him the rest of that stack. I would just give him the
yeah.
bin tool. And now he's gonna make 50. He's happy. He walks away. You bought a bunch of food and some animals for your trade. The trader knows that guys are making crafts now. He's
Yep.
going to return home, say they're setting up a fort. Everything looks great to me. So now that you're done, you can just right click out of this and be done.
Okay. And John,
And
on that
that's
note, I am going to be drawing our current game to a close. So, what should I do to wrap things up right now?
so let's hit pause. And I just want to make one change real quick.
Yep.
Go to your trade depot, and we just want to free your trader from being there. So click on the
Oh, so
trade
my
depot.
trader stays there until I tell him to leave?
Yes. So
Oh,
remember, there's a little tab over to the right here. You clicked on a guy, but all the way on the right, there's a tab down right there. Click. That's the depot. Now click
yes.
no trader needed at depot,
Got
and it'll
oh
now let
boy.
him go. And now when we come back next time, they'll haul the food back in. We will set up the bridges with the mechanisms so we can close up our little courtyard there. And your guys are probably done digging out now. So I think we're ready to dig down and make you a real honest to
Yes.
God entrance.
That is awesome. Okay, my trade depot, by the way, it is
Is
named Jimmy's Doobie.
That's perfect. That's exactly what the traders are hoping. They're just a word of your gloriousness.
My Doobie, yeah, owned by a guy named Jimmy. Okay, excellent.
So, on that note, thank you for joining us once again. We will hopefully get Mike back next week, and we will continue to very slowly delve into Dwarf Fortress.
Can't wait
Until
to do
next
it,
time,
man.
have a good one.